Hello, everyone. We are RCHRA, and today we're going to present the CHRP info session. We are really committed to bring opportunities to students with an interest in HR, and this is why we created this professional series, which included the processes and the nitty-gritties of the CHRP designation today. So we're going to answer some of the questions that you may or may not dying to know about CHRP. Okay, so first up, can we just ask both of our speakers, Lily and Allison, to tell our students a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Allison Villa. I'm actually a U of T graduate myself, so I'm happy to be here. Lillian reached out to me via LinkedIn about this event, and I was really excited to say yes. So during my undergrad at U of T, I did a double major in employment relations, which I believe now is the IRHR undergrad bachelor degree, and French. So while I was at U of T, I was an executive for 2 years with the Employment Relations Student Association as both a director of events and a co-president. And then after U of T, I went on to do a 1-year postgraduate certificate in HR management at George Brown College. The main reason I was drawn to this program was because I actually wanted some hands-on industry experience with a co-op program because I didn't have access to one during my undergrad. So this went well for me. So after I secured my call placement at this company called Advantage Group International, they hired me on full-time. So what Advantage does is they provide a business-to-business engagement program to suppliers and retailers in the FMCG industry. So this was a really great opportunity to work with a lot of people in that industry with market research and data analytics. And then, as I said, I was hired on permanently there. And then as I was working there, I also did this kind of part-time HR consultant gig at Cedar Crest Conference Center. And currently right now I'm working as a talent experience coordinator at Xero. Xero is a software as a service company that creates accounting and business management software. And what I do in this role is I support the recruitment function for our fast-growing team in Canada. Over to you, Lily.
Great.
Thanks, Allison. So I did a double major as well, but I did at Ryerson. So I did a double major in human resources and global management. After working for about 5 years, I decided to go back to school and to do my master's in industrial relations and human resources at U of T. So I was doing that while working full-time. Juggling both of them was a little crazy, but I managed to do my master's within like 2.5 years instead of 4 years. It was pretty hectic, but it was fun, and I learned a lot during my master's. And so I also, at the same time, decided to get my CHRL designation. I took the CHRP exam sometime in, I believe, 2014. So right now I'm working full-time at a company named Jones Lang LaSalle. So we're a property and facilities management company, and we have different clients that we work for. Specifically, I cater to the RBC account. So I have about 250 to 300 employees in the US, Canada, and the UK, where I'm pretty much a consultant, even though my title is an HR business partner. Mm-hmm. And I have various experience over the last 7 years in pensions, benefits, occupational health and safety, recruitment, training. So do you have any questions? Feel free to ask me later on as well.
Great. Okay. So now we're just going to ask both of you guys a little bit more about CHRP in particular. So what is CHRP to you, and what's the importance of this designation in general, like in this industry, and how does it impacted you personally?
You want me to go first, Allison?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm not sure if we're just diving into the CHRP. So that's the Certified Human Resources Professional, and then we have the CHRL, which is the Human Resources Leader. So both of them are slightly different. The CKE1 would only allow you to get your CHRP whereas the CKE2 will allow you to get your CHRP, have 3 years experience, and do a couple of more, I know they've added like the employment law exam.
Right.
You need 3 years experience of HR experience, and then you'll be able to apply for the CHRL. So I do think it's important to a certain extent. Like, unfortunately, if you compare it to like the CPA, we're not there yet. You don't need to have your CHRP or your CHRL to practice HR. However, it would be a good thing to have it where it gets to that extent. So I know there's a lot of people that juggle whether or not they should get it or not. And a lot of people need to think about that. It won't hurt you. You getting your CHRP, no one's ever going to be like, why would you get that? And you're studying and working towards working in HR. So personally for me, I was questioning whether or not I wanted to do it. But fortunately, I had a boss that was also my mentor at the time when I worked at Magellan Aerospace that really pushed me to get it. And I was actually the last class to complete the CKE before it split into the CKE 1 and 2. Also said, hey, if you do it, I'll pay for it. So then I was like, okay, it's free. So that's why I think if you can get an employer to pay for it, perfect. But yeah, you have to think at the end of the day, it won't hurt you if you get it.
What about you, Allison?
Yeah, I think that Lily really hit it on the head, like they hit the nail on the head about how it really isn't kind of like, HR isn't really that kind of industry where you need to have this designation, otherwise people won't take you seriously. Like you said, it does help you. And then the way that I kind of saw it, and the way that the advice that I got from people in the industry that I knew at the time when I was kind of deciding if I was gonna get the CHRP was like, it was just kind of like a good way to market myself as somebody who's kind of serious about this field and serious about like what I was looking to do. So basically it was just kind of like showing to, I guess, employers that, you know, I have formal education because that's one of the requirements. And also just like kind of putting in that effort to get certified is one way to market yourself when you're looking for work in HR. And then also on occasion, like very rarely, you will get like employers who are looking for someone, like they'll say like CHRP preferred or in process preferred. So that is like another thing to consider. But again, it's like, I also know quite a number of HR professionals who don't actually have the designation as well. So all of those considerations, including like the money, like Lily said, if you have an employer who's willing to invest in your education and your certification that way, that's obviously perfect. So there are a lot of things to consider. For me, it was worth it. I'm pretty happy that I have it. But again, there are a lot of things to consider.